Okay, abuzia makwaba sonko so edeba Ghana Politics Avenue so abuzia yembonra yensemu Ken Oforiata ne extradition process na abuzia akwaye bibia ewo na USA court Ken Oforiata ebekwa akopie mu ewo na tese omo akodi ni case no ewo entino se olusi case ne dia Ken Oforiata enimani ya no de no ebeba Ghana na Ken Oforiata ni case ne the another means papa no fa na wafa no ho de entino attorney general mo the last time eba break ma mo say attorney general akwa submit document bi de akwa ma USA attorney general entene sisi ano Ken Oforiata is set to appear before USA court na chese the process no akos lawyer Martin Pegu de honsem bi ababetu ya mo yeko na yenkonkoti unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma afofron so ensa into me and kabi Ghana Politics Avenue so and don't forget to click on the notification bell so na where any updates be able drop onso onsa ebe to me aka bedamase
placement on Interpol's wanted list. We know the controversy that has come with that. The OSP has talked about the fact that there was a process, and come November 21st, that process will continue, which is why Ken's photograph is redacted. What readings do you make into this?
So you see that this stuff still into the case we are building up, that all this is needless. If Kisi had informed Ghanaians that Oforiata is about to flee Ghana, we would have stopped him. So this is an own goal. What I make of this is an own goal that Kisi has scored. It's an own goal. You see the man about to leave Ghana, you don't report. So now with this, what it means is that they say that hearing will go on, okay? The Interpol hearings to determine whether the notification should be removed permanently will go on. So when they finish, the Interpol, the committee will decide. Notification, they will decide at the end of it. You know, Ghana has presented this case. Oforiata too has presented this case, right? His case. So then they will do and go into the hearings. Yes, it's like another court on its own as to whether Oforiata should continue to be on the red notice, okay, list, or he should not be. So when they are done, the final decision will come out whether to put him now. Right now they say he's there but restricted because the public can't see him. So in local parlance, we just say now he's been removed because if you and I go, we will effectively not see him, right? So when they finish and Ghana wins, right? Then now everybody can see Oforiata on the red notice. But if we lose, then he's removed. But the thing is that one is not even the end of the matter. The real case is that we are now doing the extradition proceedings. That's the one Dr. Ayine, Attorney General, is working on. It is when we do the extradition proceedings and the U.S. government agrees to bring him back, then they will take it to court in the U.S., arrest Oforiata, they take the matter to court, and then the court will also look at it. And once the court agrees he should be brought to Ghana, that's when the red notice will really be important. Because right now, when he's arrested, okay, even if he's arrested now, he will not be brought until we finish the extradition proceedings. And from what we are seeing, it's not today and tomorrow. Extradition, oh no, it's unlikely we'll finish in less than a year. It's unlikely. Even the Americans, when they bring people here, I mean, they make requests for us to extradite people. It takes years. So it's not a simple matter. And that's how come we'll still keep going back to the point that Kisi is responsible for all of this. That's how he has to come and apologize and leave the office. Because now see how we are all sweating all over, spending a lot of resources, debating this matter. If he leaves, then it will bring a new sense of purpose, a new sense of urgency in the OSP, in the office. Because once he stays, now that he's lost the fight morally, because the chief prosecutor sat and allowed Oforiata to go, it's affecting morale in the office. Because now we are dragging to see every day in the media, why did you allow Oforiata to flee? Why did you allow Oforiata to flee? You said you saw him. You said you intercepted the letter. and yet you didn't inform the people of Ghana. Kemini, please remember this, Kemini, very, very important. You know, when President Mahama won, the NDC foot soldiers started announcing, started making noise that, hey, close the airports, close all the borders. That was the information they were giving. That was the lead they were giving law enforcement agencies. Don't let former appointees leave. So Kisi didn't learn anything from this. So even, well, they say I shouldn't say even. So foot soldiers were alert and sensitive to this thing that some former government appointees will flee. And yet we have to see Jabi who has received the notice and went to allegedly, let me use allegedly, because we are yet to hear from all those law enforcement agencies. He said he allegedly went there and didn't receive help, and NIB is now denying. And you didn't come to the people of Ghana. When Martin Amidu had a similar problem, what did he do? He came to the people of Ghana. Then we stepped in and put Akuffo Addo in his place. That's when the mother serpent of corruption name gained currency. You see, it's stuck on Akuffo Addo for life. You see how we've punished Akuffo Addo and the MPP for it. So Kisi Jabi was supposed to do the same. And there's constitutional basis for it. There's constitutional basis. After all, even the OSP Act says that he should be informing Ghanaians periodically about cases, etc. Right. And yet he sat on this information and people kept complaining. You see, people had to complain month after month. Then finally, in the 11th month, Kisi had to come and confess. Oh, come on, this is not on. Not in Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana.
Very well, Counsel. Thank you so much for your time and wish you the very best. We'll wrap it up on this subject and then we'll take a very quick break. When we
2026 military recruitment exercise in the Greater Accra region has resumed across 5 main centers. The Ghana Armed Forces suspended the exercise following last week's unfortunate incident at the O.Atta Stadium, which claimed 6 lives and left several others injured. To prevent a recurrence, the Ghana Armed Forces has overhauled the screening process, splitting applicants into smaller groups and spreading the exercise across multiple centers. My colleague Armstrong Gold-Alogbe reports that the exercise got off to a smooth start with no major incidents recorded so far. Some applicants were seen reporting as early as 4 a.m. and we'll get you a status update report he sent to us. But first, we know that the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament as well has been visiting a number of these centers. The chair of the committee, James Agalga, has been speaking. Let's take a listen to exactly what it is he's been saying.
And to see for ourselves. Fortunately, what we have seen is very satisfactory. I mean, it's impressive. We've seen that, yes, they have now formed quite a number of centers, teams, to simultaneously assess the eligibility of the applicants who are interested in joining the armed forces. We've also seen for ourselves that, look, the doctors are at work, the teams that are responsible for the documentation are also at work, and these things are happening simultaneously. And so from here, we are going to go to some other centers and see whether what we have seen at the Elwak Stadium has been replicated over there. I am very convinced, because we've been briefed by the CDS, that that is what they have done across all the screening centers. So I'd like to use this opportunity to commend the CDS for the visionary leadership he has brought to bear, even in the face of the disaster that happened.
Well, that's the chair of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, James Agalga. Here's a status report my colleague Armstrong Gold sent through before we connect with him right now for a bit more in terms of details. In your short, you see what the process has been like as it started again today. Let's take you right now to one of such centers at the O.Atta Stadium, where my colleague Armstrong is stationed. Armstrong, talk to us about what's happening.
Yeah, at the Nicholson Park, and I know there's one also happening at Tradoc, one happening at the Air Force. and then also another one at the Eastern Naval Command. Currently, here at the Nicholson Park, you see the arrangement here. So much improvement has taken place so far. You see how everything has been well demarcated to ensure that there is no congestion of the applicants. And the same thing you see at the Airwork Sports Stadium and also other centers that we've visited so far. And so far, we've also seen the Chief of the Defense Staff also touring some of the centers, and he came in company with the Parliamentary Select Committee on Defense and Interior, who also says that, well, they are so far impressed about what has happened so far. So you see how these applicants are being moved to go to their changing room. This is a female changing room, and also at the far end is that of the male changing room. So if they get to this point, they are asked to take off their shoes and walk barefoot, and in there they go entire naked, we are told. Of course, the cameras cannot capture that. And then we have the waiting area where we have all these ones. We are told about 1,006 of them are going to be screened today, and they've been divided into two groups, A and B. So at the end of the day, it is the hope of the officers here that about 1,600 of them will be screened, and the exercise will continue tomorrow, where about 1,600 of them will also be screened. And this across board, all the other 7 centers that this is happening. But one issue happened here. We are told a young man came with a forged document, allegedly. They are still screening and also investigating how he managed to get that document. I have with me one Lieutenant Colonel here to give me that explanation of what exactly transpired. So in your earlier conversation, you said there's one man that you identify that came with a forged document. Explain.
Yeah, thank you, Armstrong. So the purpose of the fiscal documentation is to check the authenticity of the applicant's document. So when in the process of doing that, we found out that one of the applicants had a forged summary sheet. The summary sheet is what you get after you have applied on our portal. So it was realized that there are some unscrupulous people who just dupe these unsuspecting applicants who want to serve the nation, and they create their own interfaces and issue out their own vouchers and give them SMS short messages that they are supposed to come for screening today. So in the process of checking their document, we found out that one person had a forged summary sheet. So when we find somebody in this with the summary sheet or false document, we just, through our military police, hand them to the civil police for further investigations.
So this person, so far, is only one person. I'm also told in other places they've also identified the same thing. So beyond handing the person over to the military police, what happens to the person afterwards?
Well, our duty, we do the arrest here, then we hand them over to the civil police to do their further investigation. So we just follow up to know where to get to the root of the problem and who is the main culprit behind this forged documents.
What time did you start with your screening process today?
Today we started at about 06:30 hours, and I think up till now we've done over 400 already.
Out of 1,006 you are expected to screen today?
Yes, for both centers. You see, here is the Nicholson Stadium. We have 2 centers, Center 1 and Center 2, and each center has its own team. So different teams managing the centers. So each team have done a little over 300. So if you put together, we've done a little over 600 thereabouts.
But you're hopeful by the close of the day you'll be able to do the 1,600 you've estimated?
We are doing till the last person. Yes.
So that is Lieutenant Colonel Anani speaking to us, giving us some explanation on what transpired here earlier. Hopefully, maybe in the course of the day, they'll know what to do with this young man who allegedly has come with a forged document. But the screening still continues here at the Nicholson Park and also other centers where they are hoping that in the next 3 days they would be able to finish with this. We are told that the Army Chief Commander is also going around to screen to check other screening centers. I beg your pardon, the chief of the army staff is going around other centers to check the screening exercise, and also that of the chief of the naval staff is also going around, just as the chief of the air staff are all moving around. But earlier, like I did indicate, it was the chief of the defense staff in collaboration with that of the Defense and Interior Select Committee from Parliament also coming to this place to assess the situation, and so far they believe the new arrangements is the way to go. And the Chief of the Defense Staff did said that in future what we saw last week will not repeat itself because lessons have been learned, and there's no way they will sit and watch this happen again. Another update they gave was on the injured persons at the 37 military hospital. They say that so far many of them have been discharged, and those who are still on admission are doing pretty well, and hopefully towards the end of the week they will also be discharged, and then we'll get back to a normal life. Joseph Armstrong, Gold with TV3. Go back to you in the studios.
And Armstrong with the details from the respective centers from which this recruitment exercise has resumed. We'll move away from there and take you up north into Tamale, related to security operations, this time having to do with the IGP's security task force, because they've launched a major crackdown on illicit drug peddlers and suspected armed robbery gangs in Tamale and surrounding communities. The operation follows a petition from educators in the area who raised concerns about growing insecurity in the region.
Half of the IGP Special Operations Team, initially deployed to restore calm in Bole after clashes between two ethnic groups, has now advanced operations into the northern region. This follows a petition by lecturers of the University of Development Studies to the IGP over rising insecurity driven by armed robbery activities and widespread illicit drug trade and use. Led by ASP Bawa Abdul Jalil, the 50-member team reported to their new duty point, where they were received by the Northern Regional Minister and the Tamale Metropolitan Chief Executive. The team received a detailed briefing before embarking on their maiden operations in the metropolis.
We support the region in fighting the increasing rate of armed robbery, violent attacks, and the abuse of drugs in the jurisdiction that is influencing the commission of crime. I entreat all of you to execute your duties with a high level of professionalism.
The Northern Regional Police Commander, DCOP Wisdom Lavo, underscored the urgency of the deployment, stressing that the presence of the Special Operations Team is crucial to curbing rising insecurity, especially the illegal sale of firearms.
There's robbery, there's demonstrations, there's break-in, attacks, a lot of things. So I will tell IG that we maintain you here.
Before the raid, the team conducted a 2-week reconnaissance exercise to properly map out target zones. Their operations focused on illicit drug dens and hotspots identified for criminal activities. At Ndohini, a suburb of Tamale, a special exercise was carried out at popular eateries and drinking spots, leading to the arrest of several individuals. A search on them uncovered various narcotic substances. The shop was subsequently shut down, and the owner, along with patrons, was bundled into a waiting Black Maria. Some attempted to resist arrest. Women engaged in the sale and use of narcotics were also arrested at different locations. All 16 suspects, their unregistered motorbikes and confiscated narcotics were transported to the Northern Regional Police Command. The Tamale-Yendi stretch, notorious for frequent armed robbery incidents, was also heavily manned by the operations team. The team is expected to extend its operations to other districts in the region to protect lives and property while reducing insecurity in the region.
Now, from hunters holding on to old and registered rifles to young men in traditional setting who use weapons they inherited during celebrations, thousands of Ghanaians live with guns they unlawfully own. A 6-week amnesty, as announced by the Interior Minister, is now offering them a way out in a bid to curb rising gun violence and to tighten control over small arms. Nura Mohammed has more in this report.
Surrender your unregistered or illegally held firearms and face no consequences, says the government of Ghana through the Interior Ministry's announcement of a gun amnesty, which will run from the 1st of December 2025 to the 15th of January 2026. This, they intimate, is to significantly lower the number of illegal guns in Ghana, as well as the celebratory gunfires, which has claimed the lives of many and thus serving as a threat to public safety and national security.
Every illicit firearm in circulation is a silent threat. It may lie hidden in a cupboard, under a bed, or buried in the bush, but at any moment it can destroy life and families forever. We cannot continue to bury our loved ones while the tool of violence remain unchecked.
Albeit there has been a gun amnesty in the past, it was done a long time ago and spanned for only 2 weeks, as compared to this new 6-week amnesty. Richard Kumado, a security analyst, shares his viewpoint on this gun amnesty.
It's a non-knowledge that the use of guns in our society has become a major issue for government, particularly the large numbers it comes with when it comes to public safety breaches. We are talking about 600 armed robbery cases. Then we are talking about 400 victims, all in the hands of illegitimate people who have guns at their disposal. The aspect that says that voluntarily bring your arms and you have an amnesty, you will not be charged, you will not be prosecuted. It is something they will need to educate the general public on properly.
Now, this is a bold move to tackle the dangerous proliferation of illegal firearms. And by offering a risk-free window for surrender, the government hopes to remove a significant number of illicit guns from circulation. However, its success is not necessarily guaranteed, and it hinges on public willingness and trust, effective enforcement, and follow-up reforms. And if it's well done, it could mark a serious step forward in strengthening gun control and improving our national security. Nura Mohammed for TV3 News, Accra.
I move away from security-related matters right now and talk the economy, because ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee, Akroma, has observed that the political class has failed to pay attention to structural weaknesses in the economy, despite what he's described as temporary gains successive governments have chalked. Contributing to the debate on the 2026 budget, he urged the NDC lawmakers to stop dancing over initiatives announced in the fiscal policy and focus on real issues. Some first-time MPs took center stage yesterday on the floor to interrogate the budget statement.
Mr. Speaker, if you don't pay attention to the details, on face value, you will go away thinking that the core issues of the Ghanaian economy have changed. But I say to you, Mr. Speaker, in all humility, that if my colleagues on the other side will stop dancing like they were doing in the chamber and go into the fiscal tables, they will stop and realize that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. When we are drawing their attention to the fact that their revenue strategy is not performing, they can dance and sing as much as they want in the chamber. The results out there will show them.
I'm not surprised that you went into the examination in December 2024 and your best score was 87 out of 276. You see, we have been reduced to one corner. In this one corner, a minority you are enjoying. We would not want to be like you. We would not want to be like you. And so we are treading cautiously.
Whilst the government is in this house praising itself, investors out there are saying something different. Mr. Speaker, single-digit inflation is good. Under President Nana Addo Akuffo, we achieved single-digit in 2018, single-digit in 2019, 2 years running, Mr. Speaker. And this will be one of the longest period of single-digit inflation in the history of Ghana.
Because I'm a bachelor, I went to the market. I was able to buy what they were talking about, Mr. Speaker. Last year, this rice, which is Abena rice, was sold at 164 Ghana cedis. Just last year, Christmas, 164 Ghana cedis. This fried tour, Mr. Speaker, was sold at 60 Ghana cedis. Yesterday, just yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I bought this for 99 Ghana cedis. And I bought this oil, Mr. Speaker, for 39 Ghana cedis. This is evidence of the economy that we have transformed.
And we'll return to subject matters in relation to the economy if you stay with us in this bulletin. But he wanted to kill me. These are the words of 32-year-old domestic violence victim whose assault video has gone viral on social media. She says her estranged husband, in a previous encounter, allegedly put grinded pepper in her private parts. Despite police reports and desperate pleas, Harriet Amuzu says state agencies failed to intervene, leaving her abandoned. Now, she is deciding to reveal her identity and tell her story to empower other victims to take a stand and speak out against domestic violence. Portia Gabo reports.
Okay, I was winning and some our political highway. So I can O.Atta and I yedin a honsome at the brim. Lawyer Martin Pebu and I attending can I better say some of Japanese cocoa teas are in some way at the MI. Aha, Ghana Politics Avenue. So and don't forget to click on the notification bell so any updates be able dropping on once every to me Akabi. Madam Ase.